take a very short spew on what I wanted to convey here. So these are some statistics many of you know, right? We discussed some of those ideas in the panel in terms of crowdsourcing, business ideas, in terms of how to engage a customer, how the customers are changing, how the demographics of customers are changing, how the landscape, how the consumer is deciding is changing. So these are facts that are available for all of us in the retail domain. All of us who engage with customers or want to engage customers in different formats, be it a retail organization, be it companies which are retailizing, like a bank, a telecom company, an insurance company. So many of these other sectors beyond retail are actually retail today, because at the end of the day, each of those sectors, what ties all of them together is this need for you to know your consumer, need for you to analyze your consumer, and need for you to take actions based on that intelligence, right? So that's essentially what is going to drive your brand. That's how it's going to drive your brand strategies, your promotional strategies, how you sell, where you sell. A lot of these data are available to each one of you, right? So India is no different. We may be maybe one cycle behind what's happening in North America or maybe some of the developed countries. But at the same time, the sheer volume of transactions and the sheer volume of people which accesses information about brands, about companies and their information, that's huge. And it's probably probably the second largest online research market in that sense. A lot of our people in the market today research online and buy offline, online, virtual, whatever you call it. But there is a very great element of online research that's going on. And so, and this has been, my marketing group, I think most of us know him. And this has been time immemorial, right? This truth has always been there. This continues to remain. I don't think this will ever change. The purpose of the business is to create and keep a customer. And in today's context, with all the changing dynamics around how customers are interacting with companies and how companies need to interact with their consumers, that has become a much difficult task. Right? So what we are defining this is we are today saying that this is a phase of an empowered customer. Right? It's no longer about the brand, it's no longer about marketing, it's no longer about top design, in your eyeballs kind of marketing engagement. It's about a life cycle of engagement through the cycle of a consumer, be it his happy moments, be it his moments of truth where he has had a positive experience with you, or be it moments where he has had negative experience with you. But you need to engage him through his life cycle, through the entire life cycle of his engagement. So at the core, right, this is an age-old thing, as we always say, businesses exist, and you can only exist well and do well if you keep the consumer at the center of your business operations. Right? That's kind of core. But what has changed today is the parameters around the consumer, right? It's how the consumer's interaction with companies have changed. So that has placed different demands on businesses who engage with customers to look at different ways to reach out to the same consumers. So that's at the core of the change vis-a-vis consumer as being at the center of your business and how you want to engage him. Now, while doing that, it's not about leaving your profit margins down to service your customer. It's exactly the opposite. It's looking at ways and channels wherein you could probably drive growth. Right? We talked about convergence. A lot of retail, brick and mortar retailers, looking at alternate channels, right? And they are. It's a real fact. People are looking at footfalls in their malls, and then they say, what percentage of it would it be linked back to a consumer who's coming online to my site, and can I use my alternate channels to drive more footfalls in my store? Right? So that's the discussion that a lot of our large retailers. I look after the growth markets, which is the non-US, non-Europe markets for IBM. a lot of the retailers that we are engaging with are essentially discussing this.